Hi, welcome back to Old Guy Hobby Stocks. Still don't know about the channel name. Anyway, I want to talk to you younger guys out there, you younger racers. Now, you need to put a motor in your car today. You're probably thinking, hot damn, I'm gonna have a few beers and put a motor in my car today. You don't wake up going, I moved wrong, my lower back don't work. Where's my cheater glasses so I can see the threads to get the damn nuts on there? And you know, do I need to get to the gym to make sure I still fit through the window? And am I flexible enough to do it anyway? I mean, if you're going to the gym, you're doing it probably either A, to look good and pick up women, or I don't know, B, maybe get a better woman. I don't know your situation. You know, that's your department to figure out. But all I'm saying is, you know, every photo of you is a photo of when you were younger, period. Time's gonna creep up on you, so enjoy it while you can. And yeah, getting old is it's kind of a pain, but you know, it beats the alternative. That's it. That's all I got. So here's the fun part to setting up a race car. It's 3 weeks and 3 days to our first practice session of the year. 4 weeks to the first race. Yesterday was sunny and 55. Took the dogs for a walk. It was a very nice day. Let's welcome to Wisconsin. Sunny and 55 yesterday. Yeah. Yep. I guess we're gonna have to cancel that thaw brawl down in Davenport, Iowa, where Superman Jonathan Davenport is gonna be running snow tires. All right, I promised you guys that if you were enjoying what we do, I would give you an update. And like over 7,000 of you now have watched that first video, and the second video, like 1,000 people have. So more than half of you came back for the second video. Let that sink in. So anyway, yeah, so I guess we're going to give you a weekly update. This wasn't in the car last week, and I understand that if you're going to go racing, one of these is really important. So we're making progress. We got this in here. Except for that. Yeah. See that? There's a bracket that goes... somebody snagged that on the way down. Oops. On the bright side, $60 later, and apparently the last one in North America is still available, because maybe I'm not the only idiot that does this. I don't know. See, that's supposed to be there. I hear that's important. We'll get that taken care of, put that in the car. You know, this is the only YouTube channel where you know more than the host, probably. And you know, I hope that makes you feel better. I'm here for you. I enjoy that. So we're down to motors in the car, and we need to install the drive shaft, change the gear, which, hey look, new gear. And, you know, more rookie dumb stuff here. I got a brand new Power Glide 2-speed transmission here. Couldn't get the torque converter on this thing to save my life. Tried for 45 minutes. Now, the torque converter that's in the car has only got 6 nights on it. We're fine. Slid on there in 2 seconds. Still can't figure that out. Talking to my transmission guy, he's helping me figure it out. We got a brand new radiator because that one does have a small, well, it had a leak. It's sealed now, but last year I went through radiators like beer cans. You know, you just throw them away when after you're done after one night. So we did add these. There's a bracket here. We can pull this all down here and, you know, snug it tight so it absolutely can't move and get any holes punched in it. Wish you could see how ugly the welds are on those brackets. That was first thing I ever welded, and let's say I'm not good at that either. So let's see here. I'm going to turn you sideways. That'll be fun. There's the old dashboard, and we've got some warning lights. Had a friend of mine, Jevin, stop by, and he explained that that's going to the water temperature gauge, so we can say, hey dumbass, stop, the car's hot. So we're going to have to order that sensor and get that taken care of. And you know, last week I talked about this, working on the rear end. If you can get in here and see that there's a little bit of a gap there. Now there's an O-ring that goes in there, and I know that'll get snug tight when I pull the wheel on, but will it leak? Probably. I'd say the odds are high. Yeah, race cars is hard. So yeah, you know, pretty much that's about where we're sitting right now. Now, I've been hanging out with some of my racer friends. I'd say we're in good shape. You know, where they're at, maybe a little bit ahead. The car looks good, which it's super important to make the car look good before you make it go fast. I don't know if you know that about racing or not, but that's how I roll. So the car does look good. Waiting to show that to you, you know, outside when it's not snowing and nasty. But give it a few days. It's spring in Wisconsin. Things will change in 24 hours if you don't like what they're doing right now. Other than that, yeah, the brakes are good. I think the front suspension's all rebuilt. We're good there. Motor's in the car. Bolt the transmission to the cross member, throw in the drive shaft, change the rear gear. And yeah, maybe we'll show you a little bit of that work too while we're at it. Here's a pro tip for you younger guys. Now, if you're crawling under here to put the, you know, the bar that the transmission sits on back in the car, always put your jack right where that goes, because that'll help. It's super convenient. Ever just have one of those days, guys? Let's just get you in here. So if you're gonna, you know, bolt that thing up there as he hits the flashlight, make sure your shift linkage is above that. And also, you know, see, there's the tail end of the transmission there. Now, when you pull the motor, the previous, you know, which we did earlier, I know stuff's coming out of there. And when you go through as many transmissions as I do, you figure that out pretty quick. So you always put, you know, something handy like a salsa jar, perhaps, under here to catch that. And then you forget to move the salsa jar, and that just really worked out well. Saved me a lot of trouble there. Now the floor looks like a crime scene. The wife's going to love that. Been in and out on the creeper 800 times. So the bolts that go in here, that bolt, you know, the tail of the transmission to the thing here, lost one of those lock nuts. And of course, you know, you go through 18 pickle jars of old nuts and bolts trying to find the one that'll replace it. Nope, can't do it. Find a little Loctite. Figure out that half the threads on this side are stripped out, so you're hanging by 2 threads up at the top. So it should probably just, you know, replace the whole tail of this too. And on top of it all, I'm old, and this creeper's killing my back, and getting in and out of this thing constantly is driving me freaking nuts. Racing is so much fun. Oh my God, why am I doing this to myself? Because it's fun. We're gonna do it. We're gonna finish this. Hey, it's in. I even got the shifter link hitch hooked up. I think that's gonna hold just fine with the Loctite on it. Fingers crossed. You know, I went back and watched Saturday Night Fever for the first time in years over the weekend, trying not to think about racing, and I gotta say, fellas, that movie has more bad Italian behavior than The Godfather, by today's standards anyway. Whew. boy, I'm glad that's done. Let's get the hell out of here. We're just going to let the honesty keep rolling here on Old Guy Hobby Stocks, whatever. So I'm looking at the power steering. You know, when I got these glasses, I'm standing there with my wife and the optometrist, and I try them on, and they're like, oh, hey, I like those. And I'm like, you sure? Do they look good? And yeah, they look good. And, you know, I kind of look at them, they're round, they remind me of John Lennon. Cool. I get to work, and 2 seconds after I walk in the door, one of the girls that works for us, that's kind of a smart ass, looks at me and goes, hey, Harry Potter. Yeah. So anyway, this guy here. I'm looking at the bolt going through here, and I figure, well, that must be the, you know, like on the old school, when I was in high school working on a busted power steering pump or whatever, this would slide and you tighten up your belt. It doesn't do nothing. And, you know, if you Google some stuff like this, apparently it doesn't all exist on Google, because they figure if you're too dumb to ask, or if they got to tell you, you're probably too dumb to be working on it in the first place. So, and that may be true. So, I don't know how these clips come off. Looking at the other tank and going, guess we'll figure it out. Yeah, I guess we're just going to take it all apart and see what happens. Well, got her out. So that bolt right there, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's actually a square bolt that just sits in there, and apparently when you move it back and forth, that just pinches. Kind of clever, except for if you knock the nut out of there, I don't know how that's going to work. But, you know, hey, we'll figure it out. Now I just got to figure out how to get the clips off and throw in the new tank, and boy, we'll have something going on here. Like, you know, something. Nothing major, but something. I'll take it. Well, I'll be darned. It's apart. So you just lift up on that little tab with the screwdriver, and then you tap it with a chisel, aka second screwdriver, until it slides right off there, and then that just pops in the hole. Pro tip, drain it first. Take the cap off and don't let it. At least we had some plastic down. Well, we got a little escapey, but you know, whatever. I think we can handle this one. Hey, power steering pump's back in. $60 lesson learned later. So these clips here are just not pro tip later. There is a top and a bottom, or a left and a right, or however you want to describe it, but they're specific top bottom. Got to get those back on, and then yeah, you loosen up the bottom bolt and the top bolt. Getting that nut back in is a bit of a pain in the butt to get those two to line up, but then now you can do your cranky and make sure your belt's tight. So hey, good. All right, if you watched the first two videos, you already know I'm a fan of Derek over at Vice Grip Garage, as everybody should be. Derek's amazing. I'm going to do 2 takes, because I got a comment from the guy over at Complete Toilet Garage, which is like the polar opposite of Vice Grip Garage, and it's funny. So here, I'm going to do 2 takes for you on the next part of this build, which is that. Okay, Vice Grip Garage style. All right. This radiator right here is going to go right here, because we're on a budget. This one had a small hole in it, but it has been repaired. That'll work. Probably not. And anyway, yes, we're going to put it here, and then we'll see how it goes, fellers. Will it work? I don't know. Complete Toilet Garage take. That fucking radiator's going right fucking there. I mentioned my ugly welds on the bottom brackets before. If you can see this again, this is the first thing I ever welded. You welding guys out there right now are going, no, you monster. Yeah, it ain't good. So anyway, radiator just bolts in down below. We got this guy. Boy, this is fun to do with a camera in your hand. Got this guy, it goes up top. You can see this all bolts together here, so we're pinned front to back. We got these bracket rods right here, which just lock down here, so that keeps it down tight. And that way, as you can see, my fan shroud has been repaired a couple of times. The fan doesn't get into the radiator, the chunks of that don't get into the, or the fan doesn't get into the shroud, the chunks of the shroud don't get into the radiator, because trust me, that's bad. And yeah, boy, starting to look like a car. We put the carburetor, the intake, or the spacer that we're required to run the carburetor back on here, and yeah, we should be able to throw in the drive shaft, the gear, and we're almost there. Hey, look, a radiator from underneath. This is part of what I was talking about in the earlier video, guys, about like on a pro-built car, like things just bolt together. These things have nut inserts and just zip them right in. Works nice. So yeah, we're on to the fan blade, which I'll snake up through there. Hey, there's fluid in there and it's not leaking on my head, so I'm going to call that a win. And yeah, we're looking pretty good here. You look like an intelligent human being. I'm betting you can spot my mistake real quick, can't you? See, if your open motor has one of these on it, and your crate motor you pulled this from has that on it, you don't need both. Wow. You know, fellas, a guy's got to admit when he's made enough mistakes for one day to just, you know, call it a day. Let's work on it another day. And, you know, obviously I'm doing a lot more stuff than I'm showing you here. But, and why am I showing you being an idiot? Because, well, I kind of am. But it shows that, you know, this is real. This isn't, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. But we're figuring it out. And I'm lucky that I do. You know, if I hit something that I'm really in a snag with, there's 6 of us in this tiny little town in Wisconsin that really do kind of help and take care of each other, and without those guys I'd genuinely be screwed. And trust me, nothing's going on the track until they've double checked my work, and they just make sure that, you know, everything's going to be safe and sound and not come apart and cause bigger issues down the road. So, but anyway, I need to go get some fine coarse thread screws to get that back together properly. Obviously I got to get my spacer and carburetor, which is going to be actually dyno tested on the crate motor, which is now going to be the backup engine in this car. I don't know why my wife says it's just got a hard time getting in and out of the house. Still got to get the manifolds put back in here, and you know, a bunch of little stuff. Still got to put the drive shaft in. We'll do the gear, and you know, I don't really want to bore you with a bunch of technical stuff that I don't obviously know how to do. We still got, like I said, 3 weeks and 3 days to the first practice session, and I really want to have fun with that. I do appreciate everybody that's been leaving super nice comments, and that means a lot. It really does. I didn't know if this thing was going to be something anybody was interested in. I'm still kind of learning the ropes here. I'm enjoying this. As long as it's fun, we'll do it for fun. I ain't here for any other reason. But you know, if you like what we're doing, go ahead and click the subscribe button. It does help a little bit. It gets us a little higher up so people can see what we're doing and learn that, you know, you're not the only one out there that's still trying to figure it out. You know, most people figure that race car guys or guys out there doing this just are, you know, pro mechanics and they know what they're doing, and I'm telling you, that's not true here. So anyway, appreciate you watching. Thanks for watching Old Guy Hobby Stock. I'm still not sold on the name of that, but whatever, we're stuck with it now. Thanks again for watching, and you know, just go work on some stuff, have fun, learn with us, and we'll see where all this goes. All right, I gotta head out and shovel and plow out the driveway now, and it's bad enough we get snow in almost April in Wisconsin this time of year, but then you get these little highway robbery cookie pushers sitting at the grocery store. The wife goes to get a gallon of milk and a loaf of bread, and boom, just here, $50 worth of cookies probably. Those are definitely mine.